Hello and welcome back to Irish Football Fan TV. We are here with the Starting 11 show, joined by the legendary Gary Spain, who after every video everyone always asks to get you back on. So Gary's pretty much a regular, so I've been in contact now with Gary, so going forward now Gary, for all Ireland videos going forward that he can make, we will have Gary on 100%. But Starting 11 show, we've done our match preview. You're heading to the game. For anyone who hasn't watched the preview show, you can check it out now or after this video if you like. But obvious choice in goal, Darren Randolph, been fantastic. We mentioned in the preview video about probably Shane Duffy arguably being our best player for the last 2 years. I don't think if you can look past him too much in regards to another player who's probably been, since being given the jersey, fantastic in my opinion.
Yeah, he's been superb, and he's in superb club form as well. But it's a no-brainer. Darren Randolph, fit and available, he will start. He has to.
Yeah,
start.
and he doesn't miss games. He's reliable too, you know. And what I like about him too is he brings a lot of calmness to the national team. When he's on the ball, wherever, you can see everyone's kind of calm, relaxed, and it's good to have that solid foundation with a keeper. I think you've touched on it in the preview video actually about that, but just that solidity, and he's good as well. You know, you can see when our players are getting a bit hostile or kind of in people's faces, he kind of comes over as being the calming voice. He's 31, I think now, so he's in a very good age for a goalkeeper in his prime. And Darren Randolph, number 1, number 23, if you'd rather. But he's definitely in there without a shadow of a doubt. And I think another man, right back, captain. Didn't have a great weekend, but I do think he's never let the country down. Always been brilliant for Ireland. Great leader, great captain. Seamus Coleman.
Yeah, he has to start, and potentially the only one of our regular back four available for the game, as we touched on in the preview. It's a no-brainer. Seamus Coleman will be our starting right back.
Yeah. Then it comes to the kind of tricky situation. I, for one, and I've wanted to see this happen for a long time. We see Johnny Egan start for Ireland. I know he was captain against in Bulgaria, and then he played a friendly as well against Poland, but he hasn't really got that much of a look in regards to qualifiers, and I think now might be his time to shine. He's doing really, really well at Premier League level with Sheffield United. If he hasn't looked out of place, Sheffield United are doing great in the Premier League, and for me, nailed on to be one of the centre backs at least.
Oh, I think he will definitely start. I mean, I actually remember, I think it was on here, we're going back to before the start of the campaign, we were discussing whether John Egan or Richard Keogh would actually partner Shane Duffy. Now, I think, if I remember, I think I probably went for John Egan at the time, but
I think the majority of us did. But it was the fact that the partnership between Keogh and Duffy, albeit we were probably having the worst form of our lives at the back, at the front line. At the back, we weren't doing too bad, other than the Denmark game.
But having said that, and looking back, it has been a superb partnership. Unfortunately, Richard Keogh is definitely out. I hope we'll see him back again in green, but. Yeah, John Egan, this is his chance. He will definitely start. I have slight concerns about, he played well against Bulgaria. I just have concerns about, it can be a little bit rash, but there's certainly no question that he has to start. But it's going to be tough out in Tbilisi.
Oh, you mean rash by the penalty?
Yeah, I think challenges like that.
I think though, but he was just doing everything he can for them not to score. I don't think he would have maybe pulled the guy down if it was a qualifier. I just don't think he would have. But as I say, I can't read his mind. But from looking at it from where I was sitting, I just think he was just like, I want you to score basically, and failed him because. Don't forget, it was Cyrus Christie that was the one that basically put him under pressure.
Yeah, no, it was probably two mistakes. It was a poor ball, but I just have concerns for I think it is his first competitive start, if I'm thinking out loud, but I think it is, and he has to start. I don't think we have any real.
Yeah, but we couldn't have got him at a better time. So we probably couldn't have inherited him at a better time in regards to he's playing at the top level. Even said today that he's in the form of his life. So I asked him at the press conference, is he playing the best football of his career? He said, yeah. So his confidence would be sky high. So I've no doubt about him. I think he's going to slot in there perfectly.
I mean, he's playing well. Another clean sheet at the weekend for Sheffield United. He played incredibly well against Liverpool, where they were the week before, when they were unlucky to lose 1-0. So, yeah, look, he's in great form, club form. He will start on Saturday, and he has to start. Yeah,
I think now the biggest issue is his partner. Sorry, he played with Kevin Long against Bulgaria, but I think that both of us will agree that if Shane Duffy was fit and says he can play, we'd have him. My only concern would be is that if we play Duffy and lose him for the Switzerland game, I think that's a huge loss by rushing him back. That's my only concern. I would all day long have him if he feels he's right. He didn't mention that when they played Georgia last time. He mentioned that Shane Duffy, he had a groin injury, and he said Mick McCarthy asked him how was he, and he said, "Oh, fine gaffer, played the whole game, played really well." He said that in his press conference last week. So, and his dad, Shane Duffy's dad, said that Shane's a quick healer, so that again goes in his favour. He said he trained on the grass on Saturday, felt good. I think he's back on the grass again today. Brighton and Sheffield United are working together to try and get players fit for Ireland, so respect to them.
Yeah, definitely respect to both clubs. I mean, other clubs haven't played ball with us in the past, and
Everton.
But I would, I think everyone will be in agreement. If Shane Duffy is available, he starts.
Yeah.
But in general, on any Irish side, I'd actually be less concerned about losing him for Switzerland, and even if the management felt there was only 90 minutes in him, I'd give him the 90 minutes on Saturday. I would have a concern, I suppose, if he was to be out for a few weeks. If he did aggravate the injury, be out for a few weeks, possibly even miss the Denmark game next month as well. But I think if he's fit and feels good, I would like to have him away from home in a game that's a must-win, with already missing Enda Stevens and Richard Keogh already. So for me, I'd like to have Shane Duffy. If we don't have Shane Duffy, I think it will be Kevin Long. Now, I know Mick normally likes his players to be playing every week, and Kevin Long isn't actually playing. He's called up Derek Williams from Blackburn. Would he have played Darragh Lenihan if he was available? Might have been too big a gamble, maybe, to go with.
And people are trying to say put Coleman centre back. No idea where they're getting that from. He's never played that in his life. Why play it? And probably could possibly be the biggest fixture of the group for us at this particular time.
The other option, and I can see why he wasn't in the squad, but Kieran Clark played a full 90 minutes for Newcastle on Sunday and played quite well. But I think it was his first full game, 2019 in the Premier League or something. So I think that's probably come a couple of weeks too late. So I suppose if Shane Duffy's fit, Shane Duffy plays. Otherwise, I think we'll be going with Egan and Long.
Which is fair enough. I think everyone will agree with that. Then left back, there's 2 or 3 choices. Derek Williams, James McLean, and for me it would have to be Matt Doherty. I think he's if you're going by club form, in the last season and a little bit, he's been our best player.
Yeah, he's been.
A lot of people are crying that he hasn't been put in the team itself, whether it's in front of Coleman or ahead of Coleman at right back. But for me, it makes sense. He's played left back before. I don't think it'll phase him. He's playing Europa League football now at the minute too. He's used to going to these stadiums and putting on a performance. And I do think that he might offer something that maybe we although Enda Stevens has been brilliant in my opinion, and people were giving out about his last game he played at Switzerland. I thought every game I've watched him, I thought he's been very good. He had a couple of moments early on in the Denmark game away, but other than that, he was fine in my eyes.
Yeah, no, Enda Stevens is playing really well, and I actually think he's a loss. And suspension's probably come at a bad time, but yeah, to me, Matt Doherty must start. As you said, Paul, he's played left wing back before anyway, if not left back.
Yeah.
So yeah, and he is a quality player playing on a Wolves team that's, I know he only came off the bench on Sunday, but they had a fantastic win away to Manchester City. They went to Turkey and won on Thursday night, beat Besiktas in the Europa League as well. So look, they're in flying form. I'm actually surprised he's not starting on the Wolves team, but he's getting quite a few minutes with them lately. And
he only scored the week previous. So,
it's
not like he's been totally benched. You know what I mean? Traore's done all right at Wolves, to his credit. So fair play to him. But I think that's probably a solid back four if you're kind of going without three of the normal four. I think that's a fairly straightforward back four. So if Shane Duffy's fit, we'd have Shane Duffy in there ahead of Long. If not, then we're going to have to place Kevin Long in there. And then we're going to midfield. I suppose we're going to stick with a 4-3-3. I want to go with Josh Cullen. I know you want to go with Glenn Whelan. So we're going to have to compromise here. How we're going to... you can give me your valid points and I'll give you mine. And we'll work off that.
I go back to the familiarity again, and I know you can contradict this as well, but we're losing a couple of players, and I think Glenn's been fantastic servant. He does so much work. He does so much of the ugly work, and I think we need him in front of the back four. If anything, there would even be a case for playing himself and Josh, possibly, given that we're a little bit short on the back. But no, my vote for the holding or defensive midfielder would have to be Glenn Whelan. I think he will start.
My only argument to that is that obviously Josh Cullen got man of the match in the Bulgaria game, and he played that position very well, which I know you've already agreed on. But I'm just thinking, these are good in the midfield. They like to keep the ball. Glenn Whelan's not one that's going to be chasing and closing people down. He kind of runs kind of like that, and that's your back foot here, and he's just kind of running in that space, which he's supposed to break up the lines, I suppose, that they're going to try to get through. But I just think Whelan now, McCarthy loves players who kind of put on a performance for him. I do think that Josh Cullen put on a performance for him. He's doing really well for Charlton week in, week out, and I just think it might be a game where he might sort of I need legs, and that's my argument to it. It's just that Whelan's been great, but in my opinion now it's coming to a point where he's yesterday's man, and I think that by the end of the campaign, I think Josh Cullen will be the number one setter at least.
I certainly wouldn't be surprised if either we're in a playoff next March or hopefully in the finals in June, that Josh would be our sitter at that stage. I'd be very surprised if Glenn Whelan didn't start on Saturday. It may take your point about legs, that maybe Glenn just plays for an hour and Josh comes off the bench. That could be a planned substitution.
Well, something's going to have to be sorted out there, because the games are quick and fast, you know. So that might be the case where he takes him off after an hour. Josh comes in, finishes the game, and then Glenn's put back in for the Switzerland game, perhaps. So I'll take your point on it, and I'm gonna let you have this one. I'll let you have Glenn Whelan, right? So Glenn Whelan sitting in a CDM for the younger viewers, central defensive midfielders for the older people who may not know what that position stands for. But I think in midfield, I really don't see arguing these two, but Hendrick and Howerton.
I think there's no argument.
I think Mick loves them.
I think I think that he'll probably stick with his regular three with Whelan, but yeah, it will be Whelan, or it will be Howerton.
Well, that's kind of where I was kind of getting to, was you spoke about familiarity. Cullen doesn't have that familiarity because Howerton was playing left full at that game and stuff like that. So, and he did say that Howerton's too crucial to leave out of midfield. So that's basically answered that. He's definitely nailed on. Jeff scored. He had 100 appearances for Burnley there recently enough, and he made his 50th cap for our last time out. So all the figures and stuff are coming around nicely for him. Milestones coming here and there. So that's good for him. He's in good form. I think he's been really good under Mick.
Yes,
I think Howerton's been really good under Mick too.
Yeah.
And obviously the club form of late shows why they should be in the team.
And they're playing regularly as well, which is great.
Yeah. I think they weren't at the time, but now they've come back in.
But I think maybe the national team has helped them to
Possibly.
Stake a claim for the club.
Yeah, possibly, and maybe those minutes that Howren got at left back were actually valuable for himself, getting himself back in the Villa squad, because I know he's in the Carabao Cup squad and stuff. Then we're sticking with like a kind of a 3, but they might be kind of midfielders. And this one might be a bit contradictory of me, because I'm usually the one that's saying McLean needs to be dropped. But I do think that for this game, and if you disagree with me, I can totally see why, but sometimes McLean goes a little bit under the radar, and he can produce a moment like he did against Switzerland with the winning the ball back. He done that ball back twice in quick succession, set up the goal from McGoldrick, and I do think he helps back very well defensively. And I think for this game, where it's going to be a case of if we are going to have to be defensive, I think he's perfect for getting back and being defensive. Now, I don't know, he was left out of the Stoke squad the weekend. Don't know what that was about. I didn't hear anything more about that.
I didn't hear why he was left out, but he did. I didn't think he even made the bench or something.
That might be good for us though, in a weird way.
I think he's a better player for us, and he has been for some time than he has been in his club career.
Yeah, he goes up a level.
He does, and I mean. You certainly can't question his commitment and his heart. He probably was quite poor against Switzerland, apart from the last 15-20 minutes, but then he won the ball, set up the goal.
I'd put up with 60-70 minutes of utter shite if he's going to produce something. I would.
Yeah, and I mean, for me, he should start in Tbilisi. Again, I go back to the away from home, hostile atmosphere, need a result. It's going to be tough. You need to go to roll up the sleeves. I think the bit of experience will help.
I think you do need the James McLean as well. That not the headless chicken James McLean. You will need the one, as you say, head down, focused on the task, not committing stupid fouls and getting yellow cards, and so focused on milling the fella in front of him that he loses the ball every time he gets the ball. We need a fully focused James McLean, because that's the one that everybody loves, the passionate one who, wears his heart on his sleeve, plays for the badge, plays for the country, So would you be in agreement with that, or do you have an argument to that case?
Well, the other option, I think, is Aaron Connolly on the left, and I think I'll be discussing him in a couple of different positions and a couple of different options. If it was up to me, I would play James McLean. I think he starts on the left of the front three.
Yeah, I think, as we've mentioned, McCarthy's quite loyal to and I do think that crop of players that we've mentioned just there in the last couple of minutes, I think that they are all McCarthy's very, I suppose, babies. They're his foundation. From Darren to Whelan, Howren, Hendrick, they seem to be his golden boys, and I think James McLean falls under that umbrella too.
So I think he will, and I think on the right hand side, Callum Robinson, again, pretty much the same argument. He will most likely start.
Yeah, well, because there's no one really to rival him other than Aaron Connolly on that side. O'Dowda, he's not going to come in and do it. He's in the squad. He's not shown a whole lot this season. He's been given chances and not done a whole lot. I don't think that's really his fault. Sometimes it could be the players that he's playing with. When we play friendlies, some of the players, he's not playing with the top quality players that we probably have playing in the qualifying games, so we've got to give him the benefit of the doubt there. But I suppose if you're going off someone who's playing Premier League week in, week out, doing well, as we said with John Egan, adapted to life in the Premier League quite well with Sheffield United, works hard, can play that right hand side, and I do think if you could get a good 60 minutes out of him and maybe have Connolly coming off the bench for him on the right hand side, that is, of course, if he doesn't get into the centre forward position, which brings us back to if David McGoldrick is fit or not, because as I say before, I think if David McGoldrick is fit, I think he has to start.
I agreed, and we've already talked in the other show about he's an outlet, he holds up the ball, and not so much even in places like Tbilisi, but in places like Copenhagen, Geneva, when you're really under the cosh, when the ball comes out of the defence, it'll actually stick and instead of coming straight back.
But he's also very clever. on the ball too.
He is. He's lovely. He brings other players into the game. And he got the goal against Switzerland, which is probably the one thing that was lacking. He needed a goal in a green shirt. So if he's fit and he's on the plane, I think he start. The counter argument is, well, then you also look at, if he's not available, you've got James Collins, you've got Aaron Connolly,
Scott Hogan.
You got Scott Hogan.
But I wouldn't have Scott Hogan in there. I feel like you're gonna continue with either James Collins or Aaron Connolly.
Yeah, I suppose my thinking would be he will probably go with James Collins if David McGoldrick isn't fit. I think if we need a goal, if we're in Tbilisi and we haven't managed to win there without scoring in the last 15-20 minutes, or however late Gary Doherty's goal was, I think it was about 10 minutes to go. If you get to 60-70 minutes and we're not winning the game, I think Aaron Connolly comes off the bench then, either down the middle or wide left or wide right. I think he'll come on if we need a goal.
Well, that's what. I'm sorry. You continue.
Yeah, and whatever Scott Hogan may even come on as well if we need a goal. I think all bets may be off at that stage. I'm sure Mick knows how important it is to win the game.
Yeah. Well, see, the thing if the only reason why I wouldn't have Connolly starting is because Collins scored against Bulgaria, so he's broken his duck. He's scored for Ireland already, so I think that's a massive psychological thing. Because you look at someone like maybe Sean Maguire and Scott Hogan, it just hasn't worked out for them. They haven't been able to score that goal, and I suppose the longer that's gone on, the pressure is mounted more. And I think because Collins has that goal against Bulgaria, that he took that form back with him to club level. So I think he's doing really well at the minute. He has the physical attributes to make the ball stick. If I'm right in saying, for Kevin Long's goal, we won a free kick or we won a foul further up the pitch from him getting fouled. Yeah. Or else he took the ball in, laid it off, and someone went out for a corner or something along them lines. Did he set up his own? He started the attack for his own
goal. Yeah.
He held it up, gave it to Jack Byrne, Enda Stevens, James Collins, goal, great goal by the way. And I do think that, as well as people might be screaming at the screen now and saying Jack Byrne. But I do think you've got the option of bringing on Jack Byrne late on in the game if we're chasing the game, and Connolly. And I do think that if we're chasing the game, I think you can't have. I think anyway. I don't think you can have Connolly and James Collins up there. Unless it was late on, you couldn't start like in a 4-4-2. I don't think. I think it would be a 4-3-3 he would stick with, and I think that if you had Connolly coming off the bench, maybe up there with Collins, if we're chasing the goal, I think that would be the better show. I'd love to see Connolly come on and get a late goal, and maybe then start the game in Switzerland if he scores.
Yeah,
again, the psychological thing done,
and the hype then would be. I think it's already. Immense the hype.
Yeah, but I think let's maybe be can't even get my words out. Let's be a little bit realistic at the same time. Is that, you know, he is after scoring 2 goals against Spurs, and that's brilliant. And maybe give him half an hour against Georgia, but I wouldn't start him. I just think that there's players there that are trusted, and if they're not delivering, then bring on Connolly by all means to get that goal. Which
I think that is what Mick will do. I don't think he will start.
Now I would be sad if he starts him, but I just think if I can see his logic if he doesn't.
Yeah, I can, but I would expect to see him off the bench. And my prediction was a 1-0 win with an Aaron Connolly goal anyway. So
that kind of fits into yours, doesn't it? So overall, it's Randolph in goal. Then we have Coleman, right full captain. John Egan, and then we'll have to pick someone right now. If Shane Duffy's fit, it's Shane Duffy. If not, it's Kevin Long. So I'm going to say Kevin Long for now because Duffy's not been proclaimed fit. Left back Matt Doherty. In midfield, Glenn Whelan, Jeff Hendry, Conor Howerton. Out left, James McLean. Out right, Callum Robinson. And then again, like Duffy, if McGoldrick is fit, he goes in number 1. If not, James Collins is going to be our striker. as at the moment. Nothing's been said back about David McGoldrick. So Collins and Kevin Long are in there for the moment. But obviously, if we were in an ideal world and those two were there, they'd be in. So let us know your thoughts in the comments. There's obviously some players in there that you probably have in the team that we may not have had, but I think you'll either disagree or you agree or disagree with our
selection,
our analysis of the players and the reasons why we've selected them. So let us know your thoughts, who you'd have in the comments. As always, huge thanks to Gary. Gary, enjoy Tbilisi.
Will do, Paul.
Be safe, all right? And them guys will meet you in what bar?
Probably the Hangar Bar, I'd say.
Okay, so you'll get a selfie with Gary and tag Irish Football Fan TV on Instagram and feature on our story. All right, enjoy the game. Safe travels to all the Irish fans going abroad. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so now. Drop a like on the video. We'll speak to you all soon. Come on, you boys in green.